When people play video games, they're usually just trying to unwind and enjoy themselves. Others might just play it to kill time. And others will play it so that they can work with a team and just be with their friends. I play video games to get stressed. I don't know why. I like the stress. I like the rush of feeling nervous, and I like the rush of feeling scared in video games. And a game that has recently shocked me with how good it's been, especially with a team, is Arma Reforger.
Bravo's Washington. This right now.
For those of you who don't know, Arma Reforger is the newest entry in the Arma series. When the game first released, it was a buggy mess. You weren't able to connect to servers, mods barely worked, and it was just a trash show of no content and nothing really going on with it. However, over a decent amount of time, Arma Reforger has definitely grown into something a lot bigger. With the release of 1.0 for Arma Reforger a couple months back as of recording this audio, I thought I might as well take another deep dive in it over the past couple of months, and I definitely am very impressed with what's come about this entire time of development. Arma Reforger went from being a whole nothing burger to being something actually fun to play. The biggest game mode that I like to play in Arma Reforger is Conflict, and I think that's the one I want to talk about the most. Conflict is a game mode similar to Conquest of the Battlefield franchise. You have objectives that you need to take and hold, and the enemies are going to take and hold those objectives as well. It's a PvPvE, which means that there are AI and there's enemy players on the map. The entire game mode is insanely intense because most servers have a cap of 128, and a lot of the servers are modded. And these modded servers really do just kick it up a notch. From battling during the Cold War on an island called Ireland or Everon to battling in Eastern Europe in modern day, you can really do a lot with Arma Reforger, at least for right now. One of the biggest things about Arma Reforger that I like is how beautiful it is. You're definitely going to need a beefier computer to run this, but if you don't have a computer, it also runs on Xbox and it's planning to release to PlayStation 5 eventually. The game focuses on military simulation. It's like a sandbox that you get guns, you get vehicles, you get anything you need, and you go out and you fight. And it's that simplicity that makes this game so unique. There's no linear paths that you have to follow. There's no ways that you have to go. If you want to hike through the mountain to get to a specific objective, you can. If you want to drive straight in, you can. If you want to take it sneaky beaky and go lights out with night vision on during the nighttime and try and raid it, you can. There's a multitude of different ways you can attack objectives, and in my personal opinion, I think this is the best combat simulator that we have on the market right now. When it comes to combat simulator games, I'm mainly thinking of tactical shooters, so I'm thinking of Squad, and that's the only real contender to this specific game mode in Arma Reforger, Conflict. While I like Squad, I don't like that it's not as active as a Battlefield as it could be. You're only going to one objective, and that's it. In Arma Reforger, there are multiple objectives that you can take. Enemies can go to different objectives of yours and take them at different times, and they can even coordinate one huge assault on a single objective. I've seen that happen a couple of times, and it's honestly one of the scariest firefights I could end up in. When I say scary, I really do mean that, because the consequences of death are really, really annoying. When you die in Arma Reforger, you can spawn at objectives only if they have the supplies to allow you to do so. If not, you have to spawn at main base, and since Arma Reforger is simulating an actual open map that's huge, if you die and there are no supplies at the objectives that are around where you died, and there's no command truck or radio up, you have to spawn at main. And then you have to drive all the way back. Dying in Arma Reforger, at least in Conflict, is the worst thing about the game, because you're getting set back a lot. But that's actually a good thing inherently, because it adds that fear that you actually want to preserve your life. You're not going to take as many risks. You're not going to do as many things that, you wouldn't normally do. Like, you're maybe not going to try and charge the enemy through an open field. You're actually going to try and take the long way around, or find some kind of cover and concealment and suppress the enemy, because they're thinking the same thing. They don't want to die, and they don't want to have to walk the entire map or drive the entire map. And if there's no helicopters on station, that shit is awful. It sucks. But that's where the fear comes in. You feel some kind of self-preservation, which is a good thing. You should feel that if you're in a combat situation. You don't want to just do stupid shit and die. You actually want to plan things out and take steps to survive. I feel like Conflict is really good when it comes to player versus player interactions, because I've never played a stealth game quite like this one before. I've stealthed so much in this game, trying to get around enemy vehicles, trying to get around enemies that are pushing into an objective. There's been times when enemies have walked by me and I just have to lay there and just pray they don't see me, because there's either too many or it wouldn't be beneficial to actually engage them at that point. Sneaking into bases is really fun because you are trying to actively look for the enemy and they don't know you're there. You can set up ambushes, you could set up little raids with other people. It gets crazy. There was one point where I was pushing into an objective and somebody ran upstairs, and I heard him upstairs, and I immediately walked up and I blasted them with the M249. I think I have footage of that. It's a crazy game because players are basically making their own story or making their own gameplay. And that's what I really like about it. It doesn't feel on rails at all. Conflict is one of those game modes that I don't really know what else to say about it other than it's perfect. Of course, the game engine isn't perfect. Infusion still has a lot of bugs. It still has optimization errors, and I don't think it's really the best engine, but I think that what they're doing with Conflict, and I think that what modders are doing with Conflict, is really good. People like open field fighting. They like big pushes. They like all of these things where they could feel like they're SEAL Team 6 and everything. Just like me, I do like that. It's fun to pretend like that, and Conflict lets you do that. There isn't many games that I could even compare Arma Reforger Conflict to. I can't think of any other ones that are just as good. The freedom that you get to be able to move around the map and take care of yourselves is just so awesome. I love being able to just be out in the woods in the dead of night, listening and hearing the other team talk. Hearing the other players on the enemy team talk while they don't know that we're there is the most amazing thing in the whole wide world, because you know that they don't know you're there. And then as soon as you find them and as soon as you start the raid, you could talk mad shit, which is so much fun to do for me. I love being able to run in there and say, "Fuck you, asshole," and just start lighting up the entire place. It's awesome. And that's what I like. In Arma Reforger, you can't really do things as a single person. You definitely need to coordinate in order to do something of matter. Most of the people that I play with are my friends on here, but I've also met other random people who are just so awesome to hang out with, and I've added and I've just become friends with them just to, keep playing this game and just to do things like that. Working in conjunction with your team is really, really hard to do because a lot of people like to pretend that they're the protagonist. However, there are people that are willing to work together. These are the people that make this community so nice. People who are willing to help each other out, learn the game, and just kind of grow the community. Arma Reforger is one of those games that I picked up a while ago and didn't really start playing it, and after playing it recently for the past couple of months, I've gotten more into it. And if I was going to recommend anything, I'd recommend it. I recommend you give it a shot if it's on sale. The game is nowhere close to being complete yet, and it's still buggy, it's still got things, however, it isn't as bad as before. I recommend you buy it if it's on sale, because I feel like you'll enjoy it if you like the rest of the content on my channel. If you like this video, please drop a like. If you aren't already, I'd love it if you subscribed. And I just want to say to all my subscribers, thank you for all of the positivity on the Ready or Not video. I really did appreciate it. You know, I didn't expect that many people to watch it, and it just warms my heart seeing all the people just, you know, just saying that they liked my stuff and they were hoping for me to do good. And you know, I really do appreciate the criticisms I got on there too. Just, you know, some small things and some big things. But I just want to say thank you to the 200 people that are subscribed right now, and I hope that I make better content. I hope I keep on making content that you guys like, because this is like a diary kind of thing for me. You know, this is kind of like a diary thing, and it just makes me happy knowing that, you know, other people want to hear my thoughts. So, yeah, have a good rest of your day.